Hello, my name is Helen. I'm a solicitor with Thomson Snell Passmore, and today I'm going to talk you through the practical steps to help deal with a bereavement. So what is the first step that you need to take? Basically, you need to go along to your local registry and make an appointment to register the death. There is certain basic information that you need to take with you, and you'll need to take with you the medical cause of death from the GP that you will be given. This will include the place of death and the date of death. You'll be given a death certificate that you can take away at the meeting. So what is the next step? The next step will be to locate the will, and the reason why we need to do this is so we can establish who the executors are. Executors are people who will prove the deceased's will and carry out their wishes. The will could be with the deceased solicitors, or it could be held with their bank, or it could be even amongst their papers or in a safe. So what if there isn't a will? If there isn't a will, then the rules of intestacy will apply, and it's usually a family member who will become the personal representative, and that is the equivalent of somebody acting as an executor if there is a will. So before I go on to explain the final steps, it is important to note that all powers of attorney, no matter what type they are, will cease to have effect upon death. At that point, it will be the executors or the personal representatives who will then take up their roles. So when it comes to arranging the funeral, the will is a good place to start. The will may contain details of the deceased's wishes. You can work with an undertaker who will guide you through the whole process and make it as easy as possible. The funeral costs can be paid for from the deceased estate, or if you have paid for these yourself, you're entitled to be reimbursed from the deceased estate. In terms of the deceased's home, if it is empty, it will be the responsibility of the executors to secure and protect the property. This will include collecting in any spare keys. The executors must also check that there is buildings insurance in place and to notify the insurers that the property may be empty. It is good practice for the executors or personal representatives to remove any valuable items. So the final step is to identify the deceased's assets, such as bank accounts and investments, and liabilities or debts, such as loans or credit cards. Then the executors or the personal representatives can notify the financial organisations of the death, and then they will freeze the accounts. We understand that this can be a really difficult time and that there is a lot of information to absorb, which is why we've put together a bereavement guide to help you through this process.